I recently finished Chainsaw Man Part 1 and I have one thing that I have to say. I hate Makima, but at the same time, I really like her. Not in the same way you guys do, and you know what I mean when I say that. I mean in a narrative way. Every time she appeared in the manga, I got chills. I knew she was bad, but seeing her comfort Denji, I could see myself falling into a trance while reading. I became conflicted with Denji. I knew I hated Makima, but wow, I fell in love with her character. This might be a bold statement to some of you, but Makima is one of the best villains in anime. Don't believe me? Buckle in, boys and girls, as me and Axel Beats will explain how Fujimoto made one of the best villains in anime history. One of the things that make Makima so great is that she's a psychological villain. She messes with people's heads, and she's literally a psychological concept brought to life. That is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first layer is psychological needs. These are the most fundamental needs required for survival, such as air, water, food, shelter, and sleep. If these needs are not satisfied, the human body cannot function optimally. Maslow considers psychological needs the most important, as all the other needs become secondary until these needs are met. How does this tie in with Chainsaw Man? I'm glad you asked. Going back to the start of Chainsaw Man, Denji was at the first layer of psychological needs. From what we see at the start, Denji is born into a life of misery. Denji barely had food, shelter, and water. He did not have the bare minimum. We see Denji fantasize a decent amount at the start of the series. He fantasizes a lot about getting into a relationship with a girl and eating a regular meal. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read through this section, I did not like Denji. I thought he was a loser, but when I look back on it now, I couldn't be more wrong. We as humans hope and fantasize for a better future when our backs are against the wall. People use it as a motivation to get to the next layer, and that is what Denji is doing. When Makima comes into Denji's life, she seems like a miracle from God. In the grand scheme of things, Denji's situation does not get better. He goes from being a dog for a mafia boss to being a dog for Makima. She puts him in a situation where he has to listen to her. If not, they will kill him. Denji's life is so bad he is fine with being a dog again. He is used to it anyway, especially if it's a pretty girl telling him what to do. Even with all the negatives, at least Makima is giving Denji a job, food, and resources. Denji's moving up to the next level in Maslow's hierarchy. Let's move on and see what the next level is.
Following the physiological needs and moving on to the second layer, we have safety needs. Basically, once you have the things that you need to survive, you will start looking for something more. And that takes shape in personal security, employment, health, and property. As we saw at the start of the story, Denji is living in a rundown shed with Pochita, and he is constantly under the threat of Yakuza attacks. If he doesn't fight devils for them, then they're going to kill him on the spot and harvest his body for parts that they could sell. It's not exactly the safest situation. Not only that, but he was sick, supposedly slowly dying from the same disease that killed his mother. And that brings us to becoming Chainsaw Man. Once revived with Pochita at his heart, Denji no longer needs to worry about becoming sick, and he freed himself from the Yakuza by eliminating them, which should have settled things for him. But when Makima finds him, she tells him that he's going to die if he doesn't become her pet because it is her job to kill devils. Working with Makima basically carries all of the same conditions as his earlier life, however this time it comes with a fancy bow on it. Rather than a shed, he has a nice apartment. Rather than the Yakuza threatening to kill him if he doesn't fight devils, it's the government. However, because everything just seems nicer in comparison, Denji clings to this new and better life. As long as he follows Makima's orders, he can be safe. He'll have a place to live, he'll have a job, and most importantly, he'll be able to search for his sense of purpose.
Wait, before this video continues, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it really helps with the channel. Back to the video. The third level of human needs is social and involves feeling and belongingness. The need for interpersonal relationships motivates behavior. Examples of this are friendship, intimacy, family, and affection. When you are younger, you make bonds with people who take care of you to survive. Even as a baby, you might behave in ways that encourage their support and prompt care. As you grow, you cherish friendship, love your partner, and enjoy spending time with others more. Not getting love and belonging at a young age affects people's social lives as they get older. It could lead to mental health issues and that person not having basic social skills. Adults may feel this rejection later on in life when they form a social circle. They might struggle to make friends, have difficulty trusting others, and feel lonely frequently. Let's go back to Chainsaw Man and see how this level correlates with Denji. Makima puts Denji in Tokyo Special Division 4, giving him the love and belonging he needs. Denji's focus when he joins the team is to be with Makima. He is still in a trance because he is with a pretty girl. That trance is broken a little bit when he meets Aki. In part 1, we see a lot of people look down on Denji because of his motives. Aki's the main culprit to this. Denji's goals are a lot smaller than the people he is around, so he gets overshadowed. He is a child put in the middle of a war zone. Now, how do Denji's motives and relationships correlate with this level? Denji does not care or know how to have a relationship. As we discussed before, Denji did not get love and belonging in his life. He does not have the basic social skills, and it's harder for him to make friends. It makes Denji feel like a child. When it comes to Denji's goals, we see he's worried about women. He'll put himself in any dangerous situation for that goal. For every other character around him, their goals and motives are more serious. For example, Aki's goal is to kill the gun devil because it killed his family. His upbringing is just as bad as Denji's. The big difference between the two is Aki had love and belonging when he was younger. So Aki knows the feeling and uses it as motivation. Denji is finally getting to this level. He's about to move on to the next one.
On the 4th level comes Esteem. That is respect from others, respect for yourself, recognition, strength, and freedom. Esteem typically takes shape as you become more comfortable with who you are, and as you are truly beginning to find a sense of self. Once you have shelter, employment, and a sense of belonging, you're free to explore what makes you, you. You can find out what you like to do and what you're good at, and in exploring those avenues, you can become more confident in yourself and earn the respect of those around you. In Denji's case, we see this in what makes him unique, being Chainsaw Man. He becomes talented as a devil hunter in a way that no one else really can. He defeats so many powerful enemies, and he makes a name for himself as he earns the respect of those around him. But not just them, but also himself. At the start of the story, we see him believing that he has no talents, no meaning, no place in the world. But here, as Chainsaw Man, there is so much that he can do. He is special. As long as he is tied to Makima, he can continue to be pointed at more devils to continue proving himself and to continue growing. As long as he has Makima, he can be free to let loose and be himself.
We made it to the last step, which is self-actualization. Now, what is self-actualization? It is realizing personal potential, self-fulfillment, seeking personal goals, and peak experiences. A desire to become everything one is capable of becoming. Essentially, a person comes to a meaning in life that is important to them. The person we have to thank for Denji's progress is Makima. She took a chance on him and gave him a better life. Now, how crazy would it be if that person that gave you everything took it away? Well, Fujimoto drops a bomb on us and reveals that Makima planned everything just so she could take it away from Denji. Fujimoto did a phenomenal job with this moment. This moment displays Makima's character perfectly. The first time I read this, I remember having legitimate chills. I never felt like this reading a manga before. This is when Denji reaches self-actualization. He realizes how good it is to be Chainsaw Man. Nobody is like him. It's a shame Denji had to lose both of his closest friends and get betrayed to reach this point. However, this brings me back to my point about Aki and how his goals were driven by his loss of love and belonging. Denji finally gets the love and belonging and is ripped away from him. Now, why is Makima such a great villain, and how does she correlate with Maslow's hierarchy? Makima is not a one-dimensional character. She possesses a mysterious and multifaceted personality with hidden motivations and a layered backstory. Her actions and decisions are driven by a mix of personal history, desire, and circumstances that make her intriguing to readers. Makima is skilled in manipulation, using her charisma and influence to control others for her own gain. Her ability to play mind games and deceive the main character adds tension to the story. Her relationship with other characters, especially Denji, are filled with emotional complexity. Her altering moments of kindness and cruelty create a sense of unpredictability and reader unease. A well-written villain often blurs the line between good and evil, and Makima is no exception. Her actions may be morally reprehensible, but her motives and justifications are complex enough to make readers question whether she's entirely evil or if there's more to her character. When it comes to Maslow's hierarchy, Makima is every level in the story. Without Makima, there's no pyramid for Denji. She brought Denji to his peak and flipped the pyramid on his head. To know that somebody has your life in the palm of their hands is unsettling. Fujimoto truly made one of the best antagonists in anime history, and I thank him for making such a great character. If you guys like videos like these, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you guys feel about Makima and how great she is to you guys. I'll be reading the comments down below. Until next time, peace.